Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, where today I have a video showcasing Commander Luke Skywalker, the one and only, going through the entire Rancor Raid with his team from beginning to the very end. And pretty much the main story of this video is to talk about how amazing Commander Luke Skywalker is for the Rancor Raid, and the fact that it opens up so many more possibilities for a Rancor Raid that does not require any Zeta mats. Two quick things before we get going here. For Commander Luke Skywalker, if you have him and you want him to be great for the Rancor Raid, first thing to note is that you do not need any Zeta mats, unlike some other characters like Darth Vader who absolutely need a Zeta upgrade in order to be Rancor Raid viable. And the second thing is, I made a huge mistake in this video. This was the first time I was trying out Commander Luke Skywalker in the Rancor Raid. I was a bit rushed, and I completely forgot that Commander Luke Skywalker's second ability also has turn meter removal. I completely forgot about that. Only thought the first ability had turn meter removal, but the second one, as we'll find out, also has a ton of turn meter removal, and I totally forgot to do that. So you'll notice in this whole video, I never used his second ability called Use the Force. So we're not going to talk too much about my lineup. I've made several videos showcasing Darth Vader Zeta, explaining how he works, and a few weeks ago, I made a complete guide on how to solo the Rancor Raid. There's a card in the top right corner if you want to check it out. And today, we're pretty much talking about how Commander Luke Skywalker is an excellent addition to that table I made a few weeks ago. I will show that later on here. In that video I made a few weeks ago on how to solo the Rancor Raid, I kind of told you guys that the main thing about the Rancor Raid comes down to what I like to call the Holy Trinity for the Rancor Raid. It all boils down to tenacity down, turn meter removal, and speed down. And Commander Luke Skywalker, boy, he has all three of those elements inside one character. So this eliminates the need for having individual characters who does each and everything. TIE Fighter Pilot only did tenacity down, then you would have another character who can do turn meter removal, then you would have a third character that can put speed down. Commander Luke Skywalker can do the whole shebang. He's a 3-in-1 Rancor Raid character. As you will see, quite a lot in this battle. Destined Strike was pretty much the only ability I used because of the fact it inflicts speed down, and if the Rancor already had speed down, you can knock off 30% turn meter from the Rancor. So that was the only ability I kept using over and over again. But what I completely forgot is that Use the Force also has a ton of turn meter removal, and it inflicts tenacity down. So with this ability, he removes 100% turn meter. That is a ton of turn meter. Plus, he knocks tenacity down on the Rancor for 2 turns. So just between his basic ability and his special ability, he has 2 turn meter removal abilities plus speed down and tenacity down. That is a ton of usefulness out of a single character for the Rancor. And then you have Call to Action. Now this does not do anything in regards to removing turn meter or applying any sort of debuffs on the Rancor, but it is really important. In this situation, Luke is taking a beating, he loses protection, he loses health, he has debuffs on him. He can just cleanse himself of all those debuffs, and then he can regain 40% health, 40% protection, which is quite a lot of stuff going on him. Plus, he gains 100% turn meter, so you can use this and not worry about the fact that you just wasted a turn. He quickly goes into 100% turn meter, allowing you to transition right back into some sort of turn meter removal ability, whether that be his basic Destined Strike or his special ability, Use the Force. So pretty much what I recommend doing if you're using Commander Luke Skywalker in the Rancor Raid, which probably many people who do have him will use him, I recommend using Call to Action right at the very beginning when he can take his first turn. He gains 100% turn meter, so you don't have to worry about waiting for him to get a turn again. On top of that, he has plus 50% accuracy, so you don't have to worry about the Rancor evading as much, which means you don't have to worry about one more element preventing you from removing turn meter on the Rancor. And on top of all that, he has plus 50% critical chance and plus 50% critical damage, which just translates into more damage on the Rancor, which means you're going to fly through the phases and hopefully solo the Rancor a lot faster. All that stuff we just mentioned, the turn meter removal, tenacity down, the 100% turn meter increase, all that jazz does not need any Zeta upgrades, which is why he's an amazing Rancor Raid character. He has 3 Zeta abilities on his leader, as well as his 2 uniques, and you don't need to upgrade any of them in order for him to do do amazing in the Rancor Raid. If you really want to take him to the next level with a Zeta Mat upgrade, the only thing that might be worthwhile for the Rancor is one of his uniques called It Binds All Things, because when you give him the Zeta upgrade, anytime he inflicts a debuff, whether that be tenacity down, buff immunity, or speed down, he gains 10% turn meter, and other allies gain half that amount, which just means more chances to take a turn, remove turn meter, do all that great stuff. But again, it is not necessary, and it will increase his usefulness for the Rancor ever so slightly, but he's amazing even without that upgrade. What I want to do now is just show you a picture, kind of like my Rancor solo guide, giving you some ideas on how to use Commander Luke Skywalker in your Rancor Raid lineup. He can really take any team to a whole other level because of the fact he includes 3 characters in one for the most part. Like, for example, I'm using him in my Darth Vader Zeta lineup, and he's just there to do all that crazy stuff, the turn meter removal, speed down, tenacity down, all that great stuff. But he will work in many other types of lineups, and he opens up the possibility of making it very easy to solo the Rancor Raid without any Zeta mats. At one point, if you wanted to solo the Rancor, it was almost 100% necessary to Zeta Darth Vader. Times have changed, and Darth Vader is actually not looking like he will be the best Zeta investment because of the fact there are so many other lineups that can do well in the Rancor, and Commander Luke Skywalker kind of even pushes that point a bit further because with no Zeta upgrades, he can take a lot of non-Zeta teams to a whole other level. For example, you can have a Tebow leadership because of the fact when he's stealth, he can remove a ton of turn meter. Have Commander Luke Skywalker because he has 2 abilities that can remove turn meter and do all that other stuff. Then you have Captain Rex, Jyn Erso, Bistan, or some other sort of turn meter removal characters, or perhaps insert Wedge and Biggs for the extra damage output, and that lineup is going to do extremely well, and no Zeta mats are required. There are just a lot of ways to make Commander Luke Skywalker twerk. He's very flexible, and he kind of makes it a bit easier to form a Rancor Raid lineup because of the fact he has a lot of stuff included in this kit to tackle that particular Rancor. And the last great thing about Commander Luke Skywalker is in case you want to play on auto, let's say you want to form some sort of auto Rancor Raid lineup, Commander Luke Skywalker cannot mess up on auto because of the fact his 2 attacks all remove turn meter. So if you put him on auto, most likely he's going to use Call to Action, then afterwards he's going to use the Force, and then for a little bit he'll use Destined Strike, and because of the fact Call to Action brings him to 100% turn meter, he's going to transition into some sort of turn meter removal ability, whether that be Destined Strike or use the Force. There is just really no way for him to mess up because both of those abilities remove a decent amount of turn meter. And the last thing I want to point out are the mods. He has super low potency, almost at 0%. He has 1% potency, and if his potency is not high enough, he will get resisted. I had about 60-some% potency on Luke Skywalker, and he definitely got resisted quite a lot, as you see in this video. So if you want to make sure he's not getting resisted nearly as much, I recommend trying to get to that 80% point. The higher, the better for potency. But that is pretty much it about Commander Luke Skywalker. They honestly made Commander Luke Skywalker a character that can do it all. He's great for the AAT raid, as you may have seen out there. I'm going to try to make some videos on it. Great for the Rancor Raid. He is destroying Arena right now. So many teams doing very well defensively and offensively with Commander Luke Skywalker. And the other reason I made this video is because people were really excited about Director Krennic. They loved my Director Krennic video from the other day, and they wanted to know how he was in the Rancor Raid. And Director Krennic, if you're looking for a frequent tenacity down character that can put out a lot of damage, Director Krennic is amazing. Unlike some other tenacity down characters, when you use his basic, he always applies tenacity down no matter what. There is no potency check for it, and he never gets resisted with his tenacity down. Even if he gets evaded, he can apply tenacity down. It is really an amazing basic attack, and when the Rancor is down, you see his basic do over like 25,000 damage. He does amazing work for the Rancor, but of course, there are many other great Rancor Raid characters that can apply tenacity down, such as TIE Fighter Pilot, and now, of course, Commander Luke Skywalker. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to let the rest of the video play out so you can see them go through the rest of the Rancor Raid. If you did enjoy this video, please feel free to leave me a like. Also, comment down below what is happening with Commander Luke Skywalker in your area of the game. Are you seeing him everywhere in Arena? Are you using him for the Rancor Raid? Let me know down below. I love to hear your guys' thoughts. But until then, we will talk again very soon. Peace out.
emergency stereophonic sound for the home is recorded on 2 separate tracks, each one giving special emphasis to certain sections of the orchestra, as heard from those positions. Now, when played back simultaneously on 2 separate systems, the sounds are blended together to achieve a new dimension in sound impossible to obtain in a monaural recording.